Hey guys, what do you do? Just thought I'd do a quick unboxing video. I wanted to show off some two products. I recently got my PS5 actually. I'd say maybe close to a year late, something along those lines. And because these things have been so scarce or very hard to come across, I just thought I should highlight some of the pitfalls that comes with getting these consoles early or being rather an early adopter. One of the biggest issues that everyone is facing at the moment is storage. Depending also on how much stuff you had on your old console, which is the PS4, PS4 Pro, or any other variation, is accessories and not having enough ports. See, the PS5 currently has two ports at the back, USB Type A, super speed, I believe. Great for attaching maybe a webcam and maybe potentially one drive at the back. It does not accept any hubs or hard drives with hubs, which I'll show and highlight later. But what we're trying to do here is just sort of highlight some of the solutions that we've come up with to figure out what else can we do in terms of expansion. Now, I ordered two things, or two hubs rather, from Amazon. They just arrived today. And one of the products that we have here is what we call the iPlay hub, I'm guessing. And it is basically 5 USB or 5-in-1 USB 3.0 hub designed for the PlayStation 5. Okay, so what it has essentially is it's got a Type-C port, two regular USB 2.0 ports, I'm guessing, and then obviously 3.1 or 3.0 3.0 USB ports. All right. So what I wanted to do was show it off in real life. Now, I have already taken the product out for a moment because I just wanted to see how it would fit before actually filming. But this is what the product will look like in real life. Dimensions, not too much, but what it does is it's getting a feed from two ports, and which is perfect for what you need it for. It will tell you exactly what the criteria, or rather the specifications are right there. Input, it will take in 5.28 volts with an amperage of 2.8. Okay, and the output also is pretty much the same. So it gets out what it's going to, it rather takes in what it's going to put out, basically. And like I said, 5 ports, blue obviously for USB 3.0 and beyond, and then obviously regular USB 2.0 and your USB-C port, right? So before I go show what the form factor is going to look like, actually I might just do that now. Pardon me, this is going to be a bit of a mess. I'm just grabbing the tripod as I'm just filming off my phone. This doesn't need too much editing. This is pretty much what the setup is currently looking like. Yes, that is indeed a Wii U in 2022. So, just thought I would highlight where the PS5 is. Now, some people don't recommend putting these consoles, I guess, in smaller TV units and whatnot, but what do you do? I'm pretty much out of space here. So what I'm going to try to do is zoom in real quick and sort of highlight exactly what we're working with. Because the two ports are already taken up by the camera and a hard drive, which I'll also explain that these hubs don't work on my PS5. It's not recognized. That is a Fire CUDA, an 8 terabyte. I have the Xbox variation of the Fire CUDA, works excellently. With the green light and everything. This has the orange light. That's not working on this. It's not getting recognized. According to them, it's too slow, which I'll get back to in a second. But how these pretty much work is you just pretty much line it up with the right holes, and pretty much it clips in. Okay. Once it clips in, sure, it sticks out a little bit, but you're not really sticking out in such a way that violates the console in any way, shape, or form. You just have to make sure that it's secure in there. That's one of the main issues. And for me right now, it doesn't feel 100% secure, but it's not 100% as flush as I would like it to be. You'll probably be able to see just a minor little gap, but that's basically what we're working with, right? And so, and again, these consoles are slippery as, but with that being said, so far it's fit in, it feels snug enough. Obviously, when you want to pop it out, I'd recommend just pressing backwards a little bit and then pulling it out. But for now, let's just say that this is what it looks like. And to test if the devices are going to be picked up, what we're going to do is we're going to use this, the 3D pulse, and sort of give that a test and see exactly what that's going to look like and if it's going to pick up sound and everything in that nature. We'll put it onto the TV and quickly see how we go. So here we have the dongle for the 3D pulse. And because I intend on using these particular ports later for maybe things like charging and whatnot, I'll try just basic cable for now, because it's basically just going to be transmission and data. It doesn't really need too much. Potentially, if I then decide I want to use other devices, such as maybe steering wheels and things like that, other peripherals for the console, as well as I'm not sure what's going to happen with PSVR 2, if it's going to require any USB ports as an output measure or as a way to connect to the system, or it's going to use other cables or breaker box like the previous generation. I'm not sure as of yet, so that's going to require power as well. So by the time you add, you know, a hands-free kit, or rather a headset, by the time you add a streaming camera, by the time you add an external hard drive, you've already taken 2 ports at the back, which I'm assuming your camera and your I'm assuming your camera and your hard drive would have taken up the rear ports, because I think only the rear ports are where the hard drives will get read. And usually the back ports, hard drive wise, we're looking at playing your PS4 games, because some people want to migrate their library, and much like myself, I've got a large library, almost 1,000 games. So I would like to still be able to play some of the best versions, or at least play some of the games that were not necessarily running as smooth on the newer hardware, just to see if that's going to improve it in some way, shape or form. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's see if we can get this to work. So first and foremost, we're going to put the TV in itself, which I'm going to put right here so that you can see visually what we're working with. Okay, so visually that's what we're going to do. See if I can even widen that frame out so that you can get a general picture of what's going on. Visually, this is what we're trying to do. So, sorry, that's a little bit off center. I'll adjust that later, but that's not here what we're here to discuss nonetheless. So what we're going to do is we're going to boot up the console. That's your beeping sound. And we're going to see what's happening. So the iPlay itself is flashing on the green LED. I can see the thumbstick, or rather the transmitter, also, you know, showing off its colors. I can hear background noise. And the best way to test is to test if this thing is going to be able to pick up. And everything is going to work the way that it needs to. And we'll find that out in a minute. So first, let's find out if I can play something in the background. Actually, we might just stick with the passive sound. Perfect. So this is the background noise as it is before I switch on the unit. And as soon as I switch on the pulse, or pulse, depending on which region. So that's the Pulse 3D as we go. It's on, lights are on. I'm expecting the noise or the music in the background to mute at any point, just to make sure that things have connected. No. Nothing as yet. And I'm trying to work out why. Because usually the transmitter, which I can see flashing in the background there, should be connected. and everything else should connect automatically, or at least if I recall, that's how I set things up. Let's have a quick check and see what's going on in terms of sound and output. So input device, we've got a microphone on the controller. Adjust microphone level, etc. It's not picking up the headset, which I find very interesting. And it's set to switching to whatever it is automatically. So for whatever reason, that actually didn't work. Again, this could be a faulty unit, but for whatever reason, this is not getting picked up. And I've tried, and I'm actually putting the headphones on, they're not being detected. And I don't see anything else. Enable 3D audio for speakers, etc. Nothing. So that's not working. So because that's not being picked up, what we're going to try to do is remove the transmitter and try elsewhere and see how we go. Because the LED is on, now it's completely off. As soon as I plug this, we should be able to hear if the background noise is going to go away or not. So that's a direct connection. We've got the blue light here. And that was almost instantaneous. And it was detected right away. So either there's an error with the unit, or maybe I'm supposed to put it onto the USB 3.0 port. Again, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and give it a try live, just as we are, and see what's going to happen. So completely disappeared, headset disconnected. We're going to try this unit one more time. LEDs coming on. Yep. We're going to try the unit where it was, which is the initial ports. We have a blue light. We have some level of connection, but nothing. The options even on the headphones are not coming up, which I find interesting. So mic on, mic off, all that, nothing. Monitoring mode, nothing. Okay, I can't even get any feedback from the units themselves. So this is on the HDMI, USB 2.0. Now, like I said, benefit of the doubt. 3.0. What we got? And guess what? 3.0 seems to be working fine. So again, I'm not sure what else I can do with this. I will pass on some more feedback after experimenting with a few of these hubs. And if that's the case, what we'll do is, instead of settling in for one with two HDMI, USB 2.0 ports, what we'll do is we'll get one with just straight up 3.0 ports all the way. And I've actually got one coming in. It's just going to take a week or so to come in via Amazon. So that's one of the core issues that we're dealing with at the moment, is just postage delays and whatnot. But that seems to be working fine. And I can hear the sound coming through the speakers fine. And also the controls should be corresponding, as you can see. So me pressing the buttons, corresponding volume up, volume down, and you can hear the beeps, hopefully. So whether or not the peripherals will work through these ports, I'm not sure as yet. We shall find out. I will try things like steering wheels and things like that, and I'll try to film that setup and sort of see where we'll go with that. I will also be sort of giving a review quickly on the adapters to actually get your old steering wheels and whatnot to work on the newer consoles. So I'd like to sort of test the Cronus Zen, for those who don't know. You know, this will allow you to use almost anything from any era with the new current hardware. So this will basically mod things and it'll do all that kind of jazz. But we'll talk about the Cronus in its own time. And I'll be able to muck around with it. I just haven't had a chance to muck around with it on the PS5, as it's a product that I got recently. I would have opened it, tested it out with an Xbox steering wheel or something like that just to see what would happen, and it worked, but I also haven't had a chance to actually see backwards compatibility and everything to see what that will do. Again, it says $199 here. Prices may have changed, so we shouldn't include that as part of the rollout or anything along those lines. But that's the USB hub. Let's leave it there.